Welcome back. Herman Mashaba has been unveiled as ActionSA's Johannesburg mayoral candidate. The announcement was made earlier today, and Mashaba vowed to revive the city with a 5-point action plan. It aims to target illegal foreign nationals, fix the city's infrastructure, and create investor confidence. Mashaba says it's time for him to get back in the mayoral seat to finish the job he started when he was mayor in 2016.
A city where the quality of services you received did not depend on your postcode. A city where the needs of residents were the top priority. What we discovered in this, delivered in those 3 years was not an accident, or it was not by luck. This is what we were able to achieve when I first declared war on the collapse of Johannesburg in 2016 and executed a clear plan of action. And it is today I'm taking responsibility to return, to finish the job, and once again deliver real results for the residents of the city. And to deliver nothing less. This job, fellow residents, is not going, it's a brutal job. But someone must stand up and lead the only credible fight to fix Johannesburg before it is too late. Today, I'm proud to launch our plan called Operation Fix Johannesburg. This, fellow patriots, is a clear recovery plan for a city in crisis. 5 interventions, 5 priorities, 5 fronts in our fight to fix Johannesburg. Everything we do begins here in Soweto, in Orlando East. Our first priority is to fix the basics. Johannesburg is falling apart because maintenance was neglected and investment was either delayed or diverted. Pipes were left to fail. Roads were left to crumble. Critical infrastructure was allowed to deteriorate. Under Operation Fix Johannesburg, that neglect ends here today.
Now, for analysis on this, we are joined by political analyst from the Tshwane University, Dr. Levy Ndou. Dr. Ndou, thank you so much for your time this evening. Is it a surprise to you at all that ActionSA fielded Herman Mashaba as its mayoral candidate for Johannesburg?
Good evening, Masa. Good evening to the viewers at home. It was not a surprise that ActionSA has decided to field Mr. Mashaba to be the mayoral candidate. But I think it's important to note that ActionSA has opted to go through an open and transparent process, that of allowing those who would love to contest to be interviewed, to be looked at by their peers, and therefore a decision has to be taken. Of course, Herman Mashaba could be a bit ahead of others because he is the leader of the party, but he has been at the helm of the city of Johannesburg. He has got a much better understanding of the dynamics and issues affecting the citizens of Johannesburg. And what appears to be on his side is to ensure that something has to change in Johannesburg. And all of that can be heard with the slogan that he has created, which says, this is Operation Fix Johannesburg. And of course, it talks to someone who appears to be determined, who has got all the energy to ensure that the much needed change in Johannesburg is actually seen.
Now, he had a lot to say when he was, of course, announced earlier today. He came in, Dr. Ndou, with the famous Rocky soundtrack, Going the Distance. We know he also spoke about getting into the boxing match, that he's ready to get into the ring. And this is a declaration of war in the city of Johannesburg. So clearly ready to hit the ground running. And as you're mentioning, a better understanding, having had been there before. What challenges do you think he might come across in this campaign for that reason that he has been there before?
I think some of the challenges that he could face could be those who will talk to issues that he would have fixed, which he did not fix at the time. But the other good reason that Mashaba would present would be that he did not have the time to complete his term. But what I see in Mashaba's campaign are more positives than negatives. The first positive for me is that he has got all the support from his party ActionSA to stand as the mayoral candidate of the city of Johannesburg. He has got an experience as someone who has been there, and of course, having to contest with the likelihood of a person like Helen Zille, you could actually be able to get someone who will be able to pull all the necessary punches that he has. And indeed, that is why he refers to this as a boxing ring. But my view is that you need someone who is firm, who has got a plan for the city of Johannesburg. And in this case, ActionSA has unveiled their plan to all of us.
Speaking about being firm and also having a plan as well, he did unveil a 5-point action plan. And part of that plan was, of course, to revive the inner city and also tackle the problem of illegal, undocumented immigrants in the country. This has also been a hot potato for issues for organizations like March and March and Dudula. And we saw March and March also endorsing this announcement of his mayoral candidacy as well. How do you think this is going to bode with voters? Because it seems that organizations like March and March, who also stand for what ActionSA is standing for when it comes to illegal immigrants as well, it's mixed reaction. There are those people who vehemently support such, to say, put South Africans first, and there are those who are anti such a rhetoric.
This is not something new coming from Mr. Mashaba, and indeed coming from ActionSA. But you could tell by the response of the audience when Mr. Mashaba spoke about illegal immigrants. It is because there are already talks within the South African citizenry, and indeed from many other organized groups who have organized themselves specifically to talk about illegal immigrants. It would always be relevant to talk about illegal immigrants, especially when you have got citizens and organizations formed to specifically deal with that. What is of more interest is that ActionSA, the Patriotic Alliance, are two parties that are very much vocal on issues of illegal immigrants, and other parties have got their standpoints, but their voice appears to be a little bit silent as compared to the voices of ActionSA and other parties. And I think they would also want to use this as their election strategy to say they would be having a plan to deal with illegal immigrations. We also do know that according to our laws in the Republic that talks to illegal immigrations, they are there, but there appears to be very little that is done. And ActionSA appears to be saying that they have got a plan in order to deal with illegal immigrants. So we should actually get used to the fact that in these local government elections, there's going to be a lot of talk on illegal immigrations. And of course, it will also coerce other parties to start raising their voices and unveil their plans when it comes to illegal immigration in South Africa.
And speaking of other parties as well, the city of Johannesburg is always hotly contested, Dr. Ndou. Now, mentioning the mayoral candidate for the Democratic Alliance being Helen Zille, for ActionSA being Herman Mashaba, there clearly is a pattern that for this metro, you are going to bring out your most seasoned or most experienced leadership to be the mayoral candidate. What message is this going to now send out for the other parties as well in terms of who they pick for instance, the ANC, for the EFF, for BOSA and RISE?
Both the DA and ActionSA have taken a decision to fill their citizen candidates, as you say, And whether we like it or not, this has a potential to put a lot of pressure on other political parties, rather, in terms of the kind of candidates that they are going to put forward in the elections. Whether we like it or not, other parties would always want to plan towards ensuring that whoever that they bring should be someone who will be in a position to go pound for pound with the said candidates. But as you know, with a party like the ANC, they would always emphasize that citizens have to vote for the party, and then they are going to deal with their processes of the mayors at a later stage. But at this stage, they should be able to provide an idea of the kind of a person that they are putting forward, because personalities in this case, and specifically when you look at the city of Johannesburg, are also going to matter because of what ActionSA and the DA have actually decided to do.
Dr. Ndou, before I let you go, just to veer off the city of Johannesburg a little bit, while we're speaking about ActionSA, let's take it to the city of Ekurhuleni. We saw this week as well that they rejected that announcement of a mayoral candidacy for their mayoral candidate there as well. They're saying they don't want to be involved with the metro of Ekurhuleni. What did you make of the happenings there between the ANC and ActionSA and also now the EFF too?
I think it's important to look at the metros and other local councils that are led through coalitions in the context of them being quite very fluid, that the activities of another metro has got a potential to influence the decisions that are supposed to be taken in other metros. Even though you would take decisions only for specific metros, the unfortunate part is that other political parties would use the establishment in other metros in order to coerce or advance their positions or the direction that the other metros or local councils are supposed to take. And this should not be surprising, because the very same people who negotiate coalition arrangements in the different metros are the very same people who would also know what is happening elsewhere, and they'll always try their best to try and bring issues from other metros. Unfortunately, we are not in control of that, because the game here appears to be played by very few individuals who are the ones who determines the directions of the metros. And we should not be surprised that we could see changes or new changes taking place again in the city of Ekurhuleni on the basis of the fact that there appears to be disagreements and there are negotiations that are ongoing that have to take place. So anything can happen because of the fluidity of the character and nature of coalitions in South Africa.
Professor Dr. Levy Ndou, thank you so much for your time this evening. Really appreciate your insights.